Haha, tricked you.
Wow. Shut down right in the face. Like, too bad you're not my type. But congrats for being a nice guy, I guess.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Zeta almost fucked me up there because I was about to say 00 Gundam. Because of naming conventions, if you want to hear more about stupid shit like that, go watch Zeta Gundam. Which is probably a year away from hitting the YouTube by the time this hits the YouTube. So
we have a board and notes. So what are the board changes that you have for us today, Theta?
I got like two things. I added Soren's mom and dad, connected them to him with a blue line with a red arrow from him to them, and then marked them as dead. And then I connected Marina to Setsuna with a white line. Yes, that's right. I refer to him as two different names in the same changelog.
I mean, Soren is well, he actually has three names in these two episodes we're going to cover.
Yeah, but I'm not going to list down his third moniker that he just fucking made up right now. Because he just came up with that off the top of his head. What was it, Camille? No, sorry. Back to Zeta.
Yeah, Kamal, I think it's what he said.
Well, whatever it is. He he created it and dropped it in the same episode.
Pretty much.
I thought about it. I was like, no, I already put Soren on the board. I put Setsuna FCA and then underneath that in quotations, Soren. Because I don't think we're ever going to refer to him as that again.
Maybe in a flashback or two, maybe.
Yeah, but we already know what that flashback is because we've seen it twice.
I mean, unless someone I'm about to mention also knows him as Soren, which I doubt, but... So, episode 7, Unrewarded Souls. We start with my first note. Sasha's, you son of a bitch.
Sorry, what name did you say?
Sasha's. I'll Sasha's.
Oh, we're back to the convention of you always using any part of their name that I'm never going to think of. For one thing, I call him Ali or Al Sashez.
Yeah.
So you're just saying Sashez. I'm like, who the fuck? Because one, it's not his full last part of his name. And also, I just call him Ali now. I think I've called him something else in previous episodes. But during the rewatch, I've decided, I'm just going to fucking call him Ali. So off-screen, I made a decision in my head, and you come here also off-screen having decided this is what I'm calling him from now on.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to have more thoughts about that other than commenting on your feeling for the guy. So, Setsuna FCA isn't the character's real name, so as per our previous comment that he had told Saji his name, he didn't say his real name, so I guess it's cool. Up until the end of last episode where he gave his codename away.
Yeah.
Although he gave his codename away to somebody who isn't even of the region. Although, isn't of the region, but is of the region of the person. Sorry. The element that they are in the AEU right now. And he gave his name away to somebody also sort of, kind of in the AEU. But he lives next door to somebody who is in the Union presently, but may also be from the AEU. There's a lot of AEU connective tissue to fuck him also, up if people just start talking to each other.
No more than that. He told his code name to someone whose sister is a reporter in a big network, and a national network, JNN, and to the leader of a country that, while may not be the most powerful country ever, has things like intelligence services that can investigate shit like this. So it's like...
That's what I said, if people just start talking to one another.
Yeah.
I mean, this falls right in line with Terra pointing a gun at him. How dare you reveal yourself, which granted, he didn't take his helmet off like Ali did. He didn't even really talk.
No.
He didn't talk at all. That's why he did the little flash thing to let him know, hey, get out of your cockpit.
Talking about getting out of the cockpit. Let's get out of our cockpits the way we do in every goddamn show. I think it was to confirm who he wanted to shoot in the face. And at least, again, I don't know why I used that twice, Dynamis had the presence of mind to shut it down by taking shots between the two of them. Like, no, this is stupid. Get back to your fucking cockpits. We got a fight to fight. Like, what the fuck,
Well, because they're going off phase.
Yeah. I mean, he could have just shot Al Sachez
No, he said there was a chance he would have hit.
Yeah.
There's also the chance he could have damaged the Gundam.
Yeah,
which is probably the bigger concern, but I have notes about that too. So Soren's backstory, I would say that is some heavy indoctrination going on by Ali, making all the kids kill their parents, but obviously he would have already had to have indoctrinated them for it to have gotten this far. Killing your parents is really more of the last rung of that ladder, not so much the first. It does feel like a collected shame thing, though. Something we all did as a group, a shared evil to bind them. Though I don't know if a bunch of kids would have the presence of mind to understand that. It's not shame if you don't understand shame. It does remove anything for them to return, though. Also of note, rare Setsuna smile. In the flashback, when they return to Ali after having killed their parents, all the kids are smiling at Ali after he says, "Well done." They wanted his approval. This guy's dug deep into their psyche. He's got a weapon against Setsuna that no one else in the world has.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much cult shit, right? You isolate the person from their support structure, their family, their friends. You make them sure that the cult leader and the cult come first. Seeing the cult leader as a parental figure in which you seek their approval, right? And the fact that the people that they willing to kill were his own parents. Also, it's like, if you can kill your own parents, like later on, there's a scene when he gets grabbed by the shirt, like, yeah, people die. This is war, right? We already committed to killing our own parents. We can kill anybody. Killing people is no longer a barrier, right? We can kill whoever we want.
Again, I
just
think it's the element of having him smile in that scene is the added touch.
Well, yeah, that's seeking approval of the parental figure at the center.
I just mean the element we never see him smile ever again.
Yeah.
We're so far.
I wonder why.
Well, I mean, you're saying that, but what are those two that are getting trials again for having killed their parents recently in the news? They're smiling. Yeah. There is a timeline of being able to recover from this shit.
Yeah.
Because time just keeps moving on, and obviously, I don't think if you're going to keep living in the scenario of what you've done in the past, you're probably not going to live long enough anyway to have moved to a point where you could. But I'm just saying, having him smile back then is very much a juxtaposition of the character whose face we keep staring at all the time now. Who I kept referring to in the previous reaction series to this as Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Yeah. Well, on to my next note then. Even Liu Mei and her bodyguard went, he opened his cockpit in the middle of combat. Well, that's stupid. Well, didn't say it that way, but basically that's what they were saying.
Unlike most of the time where we get the cockpit opening thing, in this scenario, we have a bunch of people monitoring.
Yeah.
Even I think the most watched version of this before was, God damn it, I keep forgetting the name of this series every time. Gundam Vietnam.
Eighth MST. Yeah.
I don't know why you're confused every time I say that. That's the biggest hint. When he, what is it, episode 2, episode 3, he's asleep in the cockpit's open, and it's auto walking back to base. And then everyone sees it, and it's like, what the fuck? That's the most watched version I can think of, because a bunch of people saw him coming back doing it, versus this time where he's just being monitored the whole thing. So, 7 episodes in, and our main character could have already been killed. As bad as I think most people would consider Ali, he didn't... sorry, not typing words, apparently. He didn't take that easy win to collect his bonus and just kill Setsuna the moment he stepped out of his cockpit. I have no reason to suspect, beyond plot armor, that Setsuna would be able to dodge any mobile suit scale attack at that distance on foot. When Ali has been shown to be his match in moves at this point as well, could have been a game-ending mistake.
I mean, Ali came out of his cockpit first?
No. Setsuna came out of his cockpit first. He signaled for Ali to get out of his cockpit. Why would you think that Ali would say, that guy's telling me to get out of my cockpit? Better do it. He only got out of his cockpit because Setsuna signaled for him to get out of his cockpit, then got out of his cockpit. Then he's like, I'm down to clown. Let's see what this is about. And then got out of his cockpit, and that's when Setsuna, he pulls off his helmet because he's still talking shit. And then Setsuna's like, oh, fuck, it is that guy. Pulls gun. Yeah. And that's when he pulls his own gun, too. And then eventually, But it's the element that we already got this whole thing about Ali as a piece of shit. He'll do whatever. And he's always saying, well, I would like to bring it in on damage to get more of a bonus, but I'll do whatever it takes to bring it in anyway. So the pilot gets out of the cockpit. Why not just blades right through Setsuna's dead? But no, he's like, fuck it, I'm down to clown. Let's see what happens.
Okay, that's, I guess, my next note then. An energy shield you can shoot through is pretty handy.
Yeah. I think that's why I referenced the gouf a lot. Also, because I know someone that's reacting to Stargate SG-1, and they're in the early episodes. So, when you first encounter the gouf shield thing. You missed! Yeah, on purpose, says Lock-On, who then misses 3 more times, not on purpose, and then stops firing at the guy flying through the air away from them, not ducking into the landscape to avoid anything, not beyond the horizon to put the Earth between him and the sniper. No, just in the air. We've seen Lock-On snipe from the ground to space before, so no real reason he should have stopped shooting at Ali. The only argument I'd anticipate is that while retreating, he's no longer an enemy combatant. But I feel like that doesn't apply to Celestial Being after that attack on Turabian suits that was only preparing to defend themselves.
We've seen them literally start the wars. I mean, this whole thing more earlier, they just started shooting. So it's not like not people shooting at them is a prerequisite for them to get shot, to shooting them.
Yeah, no. I'm just painting them in that picture from the element of somebody who might argue, well, he's leaving the scene of combat. He's no longer an enemy combatant, so it would be dishonorable or whatever to shoot him in the back as he's running away. And I'm saying, no, that's not what Celestial Being has been. Also, yeah, good point. The element that this was a joint military exercise, they weren't even attacking anybody. They were just forming up. So, I can see on the news, horrible news today, a Celestial Being attacks a military parade. They brought all other missiles out to march them down the... attacked.
Yeah, there goes our missiles.
They were encouraging combat by national pride? I don't know.
I don't know if we have asked this question before, but it came up in my mind. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I do have 2 questions. I say a question, but actually have 2 questions. I do have 2 questions. If the particles emitted by the Gundams disrupt communications, how can the autonomous team communicate with the Gundams in real time? For that matter, how can the Gundams communicate with each other?
So yeah, there's 2 things that enter my head on this. One is obviously the no spoilers thing that's going on between me and you. It's not even from the show. I told you before that I had read some of the manga for this too, which was, I think, OOF, which is a prequel, but not, I think it starts as a prequel, but then it is concurrent to the show. Those are the characters in OOF are also acting in the background, never mind, I don't think it's happened yet. But concurrent to the show, some of those characters would be in backgrounds of stuff that we're watching right now. So there's that, and they do cover some stuff with, not going to say names, of that. But the second half of that is, I don't know. So I'm just covering all bases. I'm covering all bases. The element is that I should maybe know, but it's not coming to me right now while I'm thinking about it. But there's also the element that any guess that I could make right now also might involve shit that you might not be guessing. Because I do know stuff about those things. I'm being as vague as possible here. I do know stuff about those things. And I will say, I'll throw this in here right now. You've said some pretty interesting shit, which will get paid off, but I'm not going to say what you've said. This is your... You remember when you gaslit me about that girl and this stuff with her stomach in Macross Delta? What's Frontier? Macross Frontier?
Frontier, yeah.
This is that. You've said something that's basically all on the mark, 100%. You threw out a thing that you shouldn't have known or anything, 100% correct. And I can't bring it up. My hands are tied.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what it is. Now you're 7, 8, 9 episodes in. Go back over 7, 9, 8 episodes of notes and tell you what thing was right, what thing was 100% on the mark. Well, I guess this was the most successful end case for let's use Celestial Being for our own ends. They attempted to create a scenario in which they could take out Celestial Being. It failed. They hadn't had the presence of mind to have a secondary objective, which was to fold Moralia into the AEU, which was achieved via the auspices of international aid. I suppose, as always, the added benefit of more combat data on the individual Gundams themselves as well, via the massive number of battles they were made to be a part of. As per last episode, where Tira was getting mad that Alleluia had revealed some of the Gundam's capabilities, the more fights they get in, the more the world is going to know what the Gundams can do.
Well, I will answer that note with my own note of my own. Starting with a question. Is the AEU incorporation of Morelli's PMCs, PMCs plural, yeah, a victory for them? After all, the idea of using mercs is that they can act in ways that give their paymasters plausible deniability. Whoever celestial being actions, however, celestial beings actually are uniting the world against them and leading to more rather than less militarization. And it's only a matter. I don't know why I skipped that word.
So you're doing it. I even listed I was skipping words by mistake.
When somebody designs a mobile suit or a weapon system that can actually challenge the Gundams, in which case the ability to mass produce these designs would overwhelm the Gundams and be the end of celestial being.
Well, I will point out that you've already brought up that second point before.
Yeah.
And we've already had our discussion on that. My thoughts haven't changed, so.
On the first point, but it could happen in the future.
Yeah, and again, my thoughts haven't changed. On the first point, rather, plausible deniability doesn't matter. This is not a political game, so you can't fake your way out of it. If Celestial Being thinks you've done a thing, they will attack you. There's no, oh, we didn't know. No, we think you knew. You can't convince us, because also there's no communications you can make with us. You paint a giant sign on the top of your military HQ? We didn't do it. No.
Not us.
Yeah, as I said, if Celestial Being thinks you're challenging them, they will attack you. It's not because plausible deniability only works for the other countries, right?
Yeah.
We swear we didn't do this. Okay, well now the other two might try to figure out who did it. In the meantime, country number one is still being attacked by Celestial Being. So, sorry, that was the only thing that really stuck out to me from that one, is the element. Also, I think more though they're getting Moralia. I would say they're not technically getting the PMCs, but since Moralia's economy is based on basically PMCs, they are getting it as an extension. And as you said, the element of PMCs being able to do your work for you gives you plausible deniability. No, it happened on a public stage. The news is reporting on it. The Celestial Being is going to know that if PMCs show up, probably Moralia, which then means it's AEU. I would also indicate the element that they have, as indicated to us by at least the second episode, an entire intelligence network of their own creation, meaning that they're probably just not going to get duped either. Considering how much information they process and how quickly, it's like, oh, we spotted a guy. Quick. I doubt Tira would get away with shooting Setsuna in the back. As Setsuna questions, the solar reactor seems to be more important than his life. Previously, we saw Sumeragi change an entire mission plan to defend one of the Gundams before, so there's no chance the entire command structure of Celestial Being wouldn't get into action to prevent what Tira just said. Though, I don't know what you do to stop it. Fighting a Gundam with another Gundam to stop a Gundam from getting hurt has all the energy of step away from that ledge or I'll shoot.
Yeah, pretty much. It is what it is. I have really no more to say about that other than, yep, I agree. So we have a name, Alejandro Corner, again, like Crossroads, a bit on the nose. But what is he to Celestial Being? A financial backer? An industrialist providing logistical or manufacturing repair facilities? Something else? All of the above?
You might have noticed I did add his name to the board, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you do see his relationship lines on the board. He is tied to specifically two people.
Lume and,
yeah.
And Bodyguard, I suppose, yeah. But we know that Lume is providing intelligence, at least, and probably financial backing.
I mean, she shows up at home, and all the servants line up in rows for her, and I won't be needing you.
Yeah.
So that's the only thought that I had, really, when she shows up at home. The element of, do you think these guys have, like, a good day when their boss isn't home? Like, they get to do whatever the fuck they want, and then she shows up, and they all look happy, but it's the element of, oh, now we have to work again? Or are they the kind of workers who like to work, and they're kind of, like, bored when no one's here? Because the element is, we see her globe-trotting all the time. So, what are these people doing? Like, I guess my mind went to, maybe not Downton Abbey, Upstairs, Downstairs. Like, one of those.
Yeah.
Like, what are these guys doing? Like, I know we're in the midst of this giant global war thing going on. It's like, what are these servants' lives like?
I suppose at least they do cleaning and maintaining. Making sure that everything is clean, everything is kept up, and then they just wait. I mean, they have to make breakfast and lunch for themselves rather than just the mistress, right? They do everything they have to do, just that when their mistress shows up, they have to do more work because
No, I understand what the life of a person like that would be like. I work hotels for a long time. I know what it is to have a place be ready for people to show up. It's just the element of, their personal lives. You're talking professionally. Like, what do they have to do to make sure everything's fine? It's just like, do they prefer it when she's not there? Are they waiting for her to show up all the time? What is the Gundam side story that is just these people waiting for her to show up?
It depends on her relationship with them. And she seems to be very dismissive in that way. Not rude, more like, yeah, I don't need you.
I mean, they're all smiling, but I don't know if that's like the empty platitudes of the retail worker, for example. Like,
yeah, it's my job to smile. It's part of the contract, right? Or it's like genuinely, oh, hey, the mistress here,
Or like Pagan from Gundam Wing, which again, was that our Pagan? Did we just walk past Pagan?
Yeah. It depends on how, she treats them and how they, how close they are. Keep in mind, of course, that she's still the person with the money and the boss. So, it's only so much, no matter how nice she is to you.
And we don't know what
she's
country
still
they're in.
Checks. Yeah. Seems like another private island.
No, I mean, from the element, even if it's a private island, it was bought from somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess private islands can fall just under international law. But then who controls international law in a 3 super government scenario?
I mean, they mentioned the UN still being around. So I guess, for adjudicating things, that would be the UN. And treaty organizations of types. I mean, most international law is treaty organizations, right?
Yeah, but then again, I'll think of you. Sorry, I started into this thinking U.S. law, right? To a certain age, you have to have somebody of adult age to handle your finances and whatnot. Like, you're incapable of handling some certain legal responsibilities as a minor. Then it's like, okay, well, who would cover that on a private island? And for some reason, I jumped to whoever sold the islands to you, whatever country that used to belong to. But then it's like, no, that would just be international law because you indicated private island. I don't think anything happens there. What happens if you're born on a private island and it's just like, what country do you come from? None? And then
it depends.
Then I guess it's the legal responsibility of the country you're in to handle what the responsibilities of a minor can be. Here in the United States, we can't let you do that because we don't allow minors to have that. Well, in the country I come from, which is my country, that I say that we can.
It depends because, for example, under U.S. law, you have naturalization of citizens, which means if you have American parents who are citizens, every child is considered to be an American citizen. Now, they could be competing claims.
So I think you should have put the now before sentence instead of after.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, it should have been before. It should have been before. Before naturalization of citizens used to work this way.
Yeah. Well, it's still, I say now because they might be competing.
I would also argue
jurisdictions.
I don't mean to imply anything.
Yeah.
Let's throw this out there in Gundam 00 parlance. It would seem to me she's probably not from the Union. She might be from the HRL.
Yeah, possibility.
Read that however you want. Obviously why I'm saying that is because there's a lot more islands in the HRL.
Oh, I mean, there's the Caribbean islands. So
there's Indonesia and the Philippines and not Philippines.
I think it would be.
There's Indonesia and what am I thinking of?
Micronesia. Japan isn't part of it. It's a series of islands.
Well, no, Japan's not part of the HRL. Japan's part of the Union.
Micronesia probably falls on the European.
Sorry,
the Union
you said
well.
Micronesia, and my head jumped to the Sequest DSV, where in the future it's Macronesia.
Yeah. Because they have all their water cities and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that was your note, right?
I think it was yours.
Oh yeah,
it was yours because I'm talking about One of the Moralia command guys says they must have come through the gorge, like it's a known thing. Even the Death Star trench had defenses. Why does the military HQ of the country not have anything in the gorge leading up to it? Not even sensors to detect an incursion. I get that the Gundams release a field that blocks communications, but communications going down in the gorge would also be a sign that they were coming.
And in fact, they actually were saying we're using the gorge because they're searching areas where we're blocking the communications.
Well, they were also still blocking communications elsewhere. I guess maybe as a distractor to say that they're there.
Yeah.
But the element is, they had nothing in the gorge. Nothing stopped them. Like,
drone,
if this was any other show of like a military, there should have been like gun emplacements on the gorge, or somebody in the command should have been, "Sir, we've got signs of those particles in the gorge." Things should have had stuff.
A drone would have been, yeah. Oh, we blocked communication with a drone, right? It's like we had a drone.
Or we just talked about 8th MS Team. They had like little balloon shit in the gorge.
Yeah,
their thing because they wanted to capture mobile suits going through it. There should have been defenses there. I mean, not that the whole place wasn't just completely open air anyway, but the gorge leads to it. It's just like the whole place is a bad design. It's like a square hole in the ground with a bunch of like forest over top of it. That place must flood every time it rains. And the fact that they show us like a jungle around it implies that this is a rainy area. Your whole military HQ is designed to get flooded.
Yeah. Okay, so my last note on this episode. I hope this one makes sense. I wrote it, and then I crossed my fingers here. If you consider that from a certain point of view, Celestial Being is a terrorist organization, not a government, so random attacks on civilians around the world wouldn't convince them of doing anything different. Their only effect would be for the people of those nations to blame Celestial Being for the attacks and push their governments to attack them whenever or by whatever means they can. So random bombings is like, oh, we hate Celestial Being even more. Great, right?
That's what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you're describing what happens in the show. The people aren't blaming the terrorists for Celestial Being. They're blaming... wait. Sorry. I forgot what I just said. They're not blaming Celestial... Wait.
They are.
The terms and everything. I just agreed with you. That's what's happening in the show. And then could not put into words what's happening in the show. I guess maybe I needed your note. Yeah. What was the point of your note, though? Because I heard what you were saying was what was happening in the show.
The point is that supposedly the reason for the bombings was to convince Celestial Being to disarm.
Effectively, remember that this is a reboot, remake, retelling of kind of Gundam Wing. This is inspired by Gundam Wing. So this is when the Earth Sphere Alliance, is that what Gundam Wing? The Earth Sphere Alliance points the weapons at the colonies and tells the Gundams to stand down. This is that, but the terrorists are the ones taking that position.
But that makes kind of sense in Wing because they are ostensibly fighting for the colonists, right? And they, on the side of the colonies. Here, it's like, oh, we're just going to blow up random people.
Well, they're attacking places where people are known to gather.
Yeah.
So they are attacking the population. Well, because the idea is that Celestial Being doesn't care about the military, obviously, because they're fighting the military. Why are they attacking the military? To protect people? Well, if then we attack the people, we're threatening the thing that presumptively Celestial Being cares about. We're making assumptions about what Celestial Being cares about in order to attack them. Why are you doing X? Well, what motivations would you have for doing X? Okay, if that's your motivator, then we'll attack your motivation.
Yeah, but it's more of a shot in the dark kind of thing. We guess that this is going to work.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're supposedly hidden terrorist organization, so shot in the dark doesn't cost them anything.
Oh, time and resources, I suppose. They could be used in something else.
I mean, you're indicating as though there is something else. There is something else when you find something else. We're literally shooting in the dark, trying to find something else. This is one of those murder mysteries. The lights have gone off, a shot rings out, we're waiting to hear who fell. It feels like Celestial Being operates on faith. Moralia signals unconditional surrender, which is great because Celestial Being has no conditions. They don't even stick around to make sure you're really going to stop. Granted, they have worldwide coverage, so if you lie and just start immediately attacking again, they'll be back super quick. Though, who's to say how easily it would be to just overwhelm Celestial Being? The armed conflict location and event data listing shows that there were 204,605 conflict events in the last year, real life. That's 560 conflicts a day, 23 conflicts an hour. We're almost reaching Mega City 1 numbers. celestial being would need to be dashing around the world nonstop all the time with no rest just to keep up with all of this. Plenty of time for a previous conflict to rise back up again once your back is turned, since you can't stick around and ensure any meaningful change ever happens.
I mean, fundamentally, that's kind of the problem. They're fighting the symptom, not the disease, right? So it's oh, they attacked us. They left. I still hate you. You still hate me. I still have a gun. I'm going to shoot you, right?
You ever see like any like sitcom where a parent is like, one of the parents is gone and they're watching the house, but they also got to make sure that they clean the thing, they make dinner, get ready. The kids are fighting. How they focus on one thing. Oh shit! Now the thing's burning. Oh no, the kids are fighting again. Oh no, the mop bucket fell over. Like, it's that the celestial being was four Gundams that they have to throw around the world, and somehow they also have a beach day. Like, the element is, the unrealistic thing is that they're not handling everything, and clearly they're not taking all threats seriously. Although weirdly, they're challenging us. Let's go attack them. What about, again, the 22 other conflicts that are happening today?
Priorities, I guess.
I mean, we know from that one readout that Sumeragi was looking at that Veda propositions, hey, here's a bunch of missions, and then Sumeragi chooses. So, is there like 23 mission board today? And Sumeragi's like, that one.
I guess you might go for biggest impact?
Which, again, is based on what?
Yeah.
The element is also...
Question mark, yeah.
The main point is that they surrender unconditionally, but celestial being can't have conditions because they're not going to stick around. They can't stick around because you stick around, more people are going to come to try and fight you. It's a Superman problem. How many problems are caused by Superman being here? Is Metropolis full of villains, or do villains come to Metropolis?
Yep. I mean, in the Superman equation, you're supposed, and this is where public opinion and ideas and ideology kind of fit in. It's like Superman is supposed to be the example that other people are like, oh, I'm going to be like Superman and help other people and try to dissuade people from doing bad things. So it's supposed to have a ripple effect, but not here though. There's no ripple effect. It's for guys who show up, kill a bunch of people because they decided that these people needed to die, and then they leave.
Well, I mean, in the DC universe, there's that, I can't remember what the theory is anymore, but the idea that the world is filled with strange things because people rise up to challenge the thing in front of them. So Batman causes more of the insane people to show up in Gotham City because he exists. If, again, Bruce Wayne had spent that money in a responsible way instead of in a vigilante way, these people wouldn't have given rise, and the city wouldn't be filled with all these horrible things. And we see so many Elseworld stories where Batman dies and the Joker just, like, goes away. So, because he becomes sane or whatever. Famously, that story where the Joker kills Batman and just becomes a 9-to-5er with a wife and everything. And the hint that Batman is still alive causes the Joker to come back out of him.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's multiple theories in how comic books work, but that's certainly one of them. So, especially in the Batman side of things. So that was your note, I believe. Yep. Now on to episode 8, Indiscriminate Retaliation. More glimpses into the character backgrounds and how each one of them suffered from destruction brought by war. There's a brief flash at the beginning, and we see a younger Lock-On. Yeah, where there's going to be some kind of terrorist bombing, right?
Well, you said more. I was like, did I forget somebody? It's like, no, just Lock-Ons. Lock-Ons at the very beginning.
Yeah, but I'm saying throughout the show, we're seeing Setsuna, we're seeing Lock-On. I think we also get a glimpse of Alleluia's background thing with escaping and that shuttle thing.
I mean, there was certainly a thing, whatever that was.
Yeah.
There was a thing.
My whole theory about him being another designer bottle baby, superhuman.
I guess technically
kind of
you throw Soma in there. We didn't see it, but it's been described to us.
Yeah.
And we know that Saji and Komi, their parents are dead. It's a background element. I don't know what that portends. And I guess in some certain respect, Billy and Sumeragi, there was an incident we haven't been brought in on yet.
Yeah, he was part of the military at the time.
Right, well, I mean, that they went to the same place. I guess that's everyone that we do have any, hanging threads for backstory-wise.
Yeah.
Sumeragi saying that she wished things didn't go as closely to Veda's predictions, I suppose, just implied that she hoped things would have gone better, given her death counter before walking off.
I interpret it as slightly different. I think that she is like saying, sure, I'm following Veda's predictions, but we should not be, shall we say, completely tied to them, just in case.
Well, she says that she wished they hadn't gone as closely to Veda's predictions, which either implies to me that she wished it would have gone better, as I said, or that Veda predicted that Setsuna would go off the handle. Or off script, not off the handle, off script.
Yeah, off script, yeah. Next point. May's personal craft is pink, of course.
Well, yeah, just like, again, I guess she is going to be our Dorothy, right? Dorothy's personal craft is gold because she's rich.
Yeah.
Her personal crafts are gold. The news program does a pretty good job of reminding that the Gundam fights are not only destroying background sets, but that those are people's homes and livelihoods being destroyed, if not the civilians themselves. Celestial beings' efforts are harming the same people that they want to protect from ongoing war. I mean, I get it, break a few eggs, not to save all the eggs in the future. Sorry, now. Break a few eggs now to save all the eggs in the future. But the more you push the world against you, the less likely the fighting is ever to stop.
I mean, collateral damage, right? It's like, if you shoot down a craft, it's going to come down somewhere.
Yeah, I've got a note later about collateral damage. It's the element here that I'm bringing the news program specifically. Because they cover the element of people going missing, or, not among the dead, but not yet found. And then the homes in the background, which are specifically not military buildings. And people that got shot by crossfire and whatnot. Not people, buildings shot by crossfire.
And again, a reminder that this is not an ongoing fight or a fight that was about to start that Celestial being intervening. It's like, no, they're doing a military exercise to nations that are ostensibly allied to each other. We're going to intervene because they're challenging us, right? This is a fight that's Celestial being started all of their own. So they're 100% responsible for what every.
No, I mean, I said this earlier. I have nothing to add because I said this earlier when I was talking about if you challenge Celestial being, they'll attack you.
Yeah. So
vis-a-vis my plausible deniability doesn't matter. No. Or
which response. Is something that Seiji comments later on. It's like, no, this is wrong. That's your next point?
No, that was mine. I was talking about the news.
Okay. Why are they dressed like that? Fan service. The answer is fan service. By the way, we'll have a character pick up Haru in such a way that you see another girl's ass flash by. Because fan service.
I think it's funny because I didn't notice. You're taking a note that, someone look at that ass. And I'm like, I didn't even notice.
Because the way they shoot it is, I think she goes to pick up the Haru. It could have been just focusing the camera on her, No, it's just white enough that you pick up, I think, what's her name behind. It's like, oh, okay.
It's what, Sumeragi, Felt, and Christine?
I think it's Christine that's what that you see. It's
well, then it doesn't really matter. Christine's the one wearing the most clothes.
No, I think it's Sumeragi then because it really.
No, you're right. Never mind. Christine is the one. Sorry, it goes Sumeragi in a one-piece bathing suit. Christine is wearing shirt and
tight t-shirt and a
bikini bottom, and then Christine
and Felt is wearing. Felt is the one.
I keep forgetting because Felt is the one who's like analytical and doesn't want to be here, and Christine is the one pulling her along for everything.
Yeah, she's the one who's like, "Oh, how do
Yeah, I just keep getting them flipped in my head.
They don't say a lot of lines, so it's not.
I mean, they do
at this point.
They do on the bridge, and then they do in their own private back and forth, and then they do during the attack. They say plenty of lines. I think they say just as much as Sumeragi does.
Yeah.
By the way, such a shit line for deflecting accusations of stuff. By the way, I heard some good information moments ago. Just watch the news and you'll find out. You can say that at any moment of any day. Yeah. Something is always going to be on the news that can apply to anything you could mean. Like, I just heard something pretty cool. Turn on the news and you'll find out what I know. Today, President Trump. Like, it's always going to be something.
Something, yeah. It's like, by the way, you hear explosions. Like, yeah, there was an explosion.
You want to know what that's about? Turn on the news. Like, yeah, I know what that's about. I just heard something pretty interesting about what that was about. Turn on the news. Mm-hmm. Like, he's getting on him. Like, where was your unit? Why is your unit have no casualties? I'm just a good leader. You know what? We didn't hide. Hey, I just got some pretty good information. Yeah, what is it? Just check out the news. If it's on the news, that means it's gone
You
through
didn't get
everything
it.
so far.
Everybody here is like, you mean I could do this? What the fuck am I even talking to you? I don't know.
Ollie just has his subscription to early edition.
Yeah. Random notes. So Louise is a Spaniard. Or at least it's into that her family lives in Spain, but you know.
Yeah, well, you know. The element that they're probably not going to be as complicated as that.
Yeah.
The element that her mother could be from Spain or lives in Spain, but they're probably not going to go as far as to say, oh, yeah, but she was actually born over here. Like,
yeah,
they're not going to drop a country of name.
Her father is French, but her mother is English, but she then moved to Barcelona for the summers, and that's what she stayed there. And she has a little shop there, which is a cafe everybody loves in the summer.
Yeah.
It makes him a lot of money, and you know,
which is fine for the light novel, I'm sure, if there one does exist, but the element of the, what do you call it, the limitation window on information. If you're going to say something, say it all at once, or leave what you got.
Yeah, that's all you need to know, basically. She says, yeah.
So Veda, the one giving all the missions that Sumeragi chooses from, also selected the Gundam Meisters themselves, but given that Sumeragi chooses from multiple missions that Veda sends them, I have to wonder if there was a large pool of Meisters to pick from, and that these were the ones that maybe Sumeragi picks from that.
Would be.
Well, you know, like, Veda sends her, like, 10 missions, and then she says, I'm going to pick this one, and that's the one we're going to go on today. That Veda sends her, here's 20 Gundam Meisters, and she's like, I'm going to pick these 4.
Well, there goes keeping your identity secret, Setsuo. By telling the princess of an entire nation your, well, code name, technically, but yeah, that's the second person you just like blabber your code name to.
Well, it's not that it's... Saji is in the clear. That is his code name. The Marina's not, because he said, this is my code name, and then also said, I am a Gundam Meister celestial being. Saji, what he puts out there is that Marina ever says that to anybody else. The news reporter is now going to have some information. I got a little blip of this or that. But then again, Celestial Beings Information Network is also going to hear that shit. So, Saji's fine. Saji's fine until Marina spills the beans, and then Celestial Beings Information Network hears that, and it might start taking out anyone who knows that code name. All right, Setsuna, new code name if we don't kill you. New code name, and we're going to kill everyone that you've told that code name to.
Yeah.
And I guess everyone who also you ever use that code name with, like, did you sign up for school classes? Like,
well, they haven't signed up to classes like that. Like they have.
Oh, presumably he put a name down on the apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the front desk clerk of the apartment, the person who handled your paperwork, the bank, everyone at the bank. Like,
yeah, a lot of dead bodies.
It basically we got to burn all the paperwork. Like, we got to make sure we clear through everything. We can't have a paper trail.
It has all the energy of, when you A, change your password regularly, and B, do not let it written in a paper in your desk. Thank you.
I suppose if this is the far future, this is a paperless society, it might be easier. Do a couple hacking attempts and then just disappear into the woodwork. But if it's a papered society, we're going to have to, like, go through a lot.
Yeah.
I guess Saji and Louise are both from the AEU, as Saji says we when talking about them both. I could have sworn that he said something before that made them both from a different place, but he says we this episode, so I've changed the board accordingly. Although I haven't changed Kome because I don't know about her. Could be that they're both from the AEU, and they're staying, or at least he's staying with his sister while he's here. Yeah, again, he says we. We are from the AEU. It's very confusing for me because I keep switching back and forth. I swear before in one of my previous notes I had established that he is from here and she is not. But he says we. Don't include yourself in stuff, Saji, unless you're just being, I don't know.
My next note. Smart for the AU to use the Celestial Being. I put CB for short, I guess, to deal with the terrorists. Whatever happens after Celestial Being intervenes, it's on them.
What do you...
On Celestial Being, not the AU.
No, I'm just confused about what you mean. It's good on Celestial Being to intervene with the terrorists, then whatever happens is on them?
It's smart on the AEU to have leaked the information to Celestial Being.
Sorry, you said AU and then corrected yourself about talking about celestial beings. So it's like, did you?
Because I wrote CB as opposed to write it out.
You put your interjection in such a weird spot that I just got confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. No argument. We're all using celestial being whenever we can. Works for some of us, not for others.
Yeah.
It's strange that one of the Gundam Meisters would say, that's terrible, after hearing that 100 people lost their lives in the terrorist bombings, when we just covered how many people died in the intervention they just performed, some of which would have to have been civilian collateral damage, which was also more than 100, given we know the number of suits deployed, meaning the number of pilots, was about a fifth of the death toll. Innocent civilians were victims here, and you don't feel anything? Again, we just saw the fallout of your last battle site. We aren't even talking about the dead there. Hypocrisy has to be celestial beings' most surface-level sin.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to try to intuit the logic here is, we were fighting people on the uniform, and that was quote-unquote collateral damage. We didn't mean to hurt those people. This is a deliberate attack on people that had nothing to do with this.
Well, since I feel like I already have to interject, because remember, that was a military exercise that they attacked. Yeah. That is a deliberate attack on people that weren't hurting anybody.
True enough. I'm just trying to suss out the...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not including the element of that this discussion is between Terra, who is basically like, who gives a shit? Like, they think that can hurt us. Terrorist attacks, we don't give a shit. We're doing what we need to do anyway. Which is, I guess, the face of it. Like, even though it seems to be like 3 against 1 on this, or 2 against 1, and Setsuna doesn't seem to give a shit either. Terra's point of view supports what they're already doing, whereas the other two is that hypocrisy that I'm mentioning, the element of, you just killed a lot of people, you've been killing a lot of people who haven't been attacking people, who, I don't know, it's just like the element, you just don't accept your effect on the world.
Both fights occur near or at heavily populated areas, because in Terraria, they also fought in the middle of the city. So a lot of buildings got damaged or destroyed. A lot of, pieces of
Terraria,
landed. Yeah.
In Terraria, they attacked in the middle of a city. Here, some of those fights were in or around a city, because we see that in the news report. So, yeah, we don't even cover the fallout, the incidental deaths, the collateral for Terraria. Even though, once again, we attacked people who were on the defensive. Yep. So, as I said, hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy from the two that are like, this is awful. Well, then stop doing it. You're doing it too. As Terraria even says, they see us as terrorists. Terrorists attacking terrorists.
Yep. My next note. Cool. The Gundams have cloaking tech too.
Meaning what?
Cool thing. They have cloaking tech. That's all I mentioned. It's like, oh, yeah.
I mean, they don't. What do you... I said meaning what? I'm asking for a clarification.
Okay, remember when Setsuna returns to the Gundam after the whole fight in the streets of Edinburgh, I guess what it is? It's cloaked, and then he uncloaks the Gundam and gets in. That's why it's on the side of the hill, nobody could see it.
I think I may have spent so much time focusing on the car. Sorry, there's a whole thing going on where I think he attacked not the terrorist, but I spent so much time focusing my thoughts on the car that I don't think I paid any attention to anything that happens after him talking to Marina, and basically after he gets out into his motorcycle.
Yeah.
So
the taxi motorcycle, the taxi cycle, I guess. Yeah.
Well, from the moment he senses there's a heat exchange thing over there. Hey, we need you to go out. From that moment to after the conversation with Marina, I don't think I clocked the Gundam at all. I also don't remember it having a cloaking device. So,
or holographic something or other. It was invisible until he
not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying I don't remember it, and I focused on other things during that episode. Apparently, Setsuna reminding me of why I dislike him as a character. The rest of the group is having a discussion about their stance. By the way, apparently I'm still on the previous episode, which is not helping.
We're still on the beach. Yeah.
Setsuna reminding me of why I dislike him as a character. The rest of the group is having a discussion about their stance on terrorism, vis-a-vis if they are guilty of it themselves versus hating it. And Setsuna just pipes up, stating the situation, which we already know, defining what terrorism is, which we already know, saying that Celestial Being will do armed interventions, which we already know, and that the Gundam Meisters would be the one to do it, which we already know. And the show gives this weight as though this was a valuable thing to say or a revelation of some sort. In Setsuna's flat monotone, it isn't even a rousing speech. Worse, it interrupts a pretty good conversation between Tierra and Lock-On about hating terrorism versus being a terrorist.
Basically,
hey,
like,
Lessons, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. I just told you my whole note about the thing that just happened at the end of the episode, which was on the beach, by the way, which is, by the way, my responsibility as a person here on the show to tell you notes about, because that's something that I would do.
Which you did.
All the fucking energy of what Setsuna just fucking did. Actually, probably a little bit more energy. Again, monotone voice. I know I have a shit voice, but that's what he did. I interrupted you to say what was exactly just happening, because we all know.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it's like, I get it. Setsuna has to get voice lines at some point because he needs to get paid as a voice actor. But it's the element that they were having a pretty good conversation about what it means to be a celestial being member versus what they're doing to the world and what they stand against. That would have been a good conversation to keep going. But Setsuna got a card like, end the episode. Okay.
Yeah. Again, if I were to hazard a guess, I think what he's basically saying is we do what we have to do. And that's all there needs to be done.
Cool. That would have been a good one-liner to throw out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, the previous argument we had in another episode where I brought up the guy from Mad About You. It is what it is. Would have been a good line to throw out there, but him just like, hey guys, everything we know. Oh, he's right.
My second to last note. Interesting that the terrorist mobile armor was of human lead design. And by interesting is because we've seen other non-government actors either reusing like construction machines or using using AU.
I was saying that's where you would have gotten it from.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know that that's the interesting part. The interesting part for me, I didn't make a note about it, but it still clocks me. I got punched in the face by it. It still clocks in my head the element that, no, he says it's a mobile armor. I haven't seen one of those in forever. The element is that mobile armors aren't like a separate division like they are in, like, say, Universal Century Gundam, of things that are being developed alongside and have their own uses. It seems to me that he's calling it like a mobile armor. It's like that's the predecessor to mobile suits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this guy's attacking him with like the thing that an alien she takes out the alien queen with, like the predecessor to what a mobile suit would be in this universe.
Yeah, which makes kind of sense. Bigger, a bigger machine that's less complex, right? For the era,
and hey, much like all other underwater fights, compared to every other fight we've seen so far, kind of sucked.
Yeah,
underwater fights suck in Gundam.
Although it's interesting, I guess. Well, not interesting. I think once the word got out that they have been exposed, they would be waiting for Celestial Being to intervene at any moment. So setting a trap for
that's self-defeating
that way. Yeah.
Celestial Being is going after our hidden bases. Well, we better assemble all of our guys at our hidden bases, making them less hidden.
Yeah. Instead of dispersing people, like, all the bases. Like, originally, it's like, every location we knew before, they abandoned them. Oh, cool. They're smart. Then it's like, oh, wait, they're retreating to these other locations where we can just kill them all. Not so smart,
Well, the problem is there's no laying low with Celestial Being. Although, I don't know that they would know that. It's the element that the Celestial Being has this vast intelligence network. It's kind of like Durara, right? Where you have that, I can't remember people's characters unless I'm looking at the board. One character who not infects, but,
Taiga?
Yeah.
Is it Taiga? Yeah.
No, you're talking about that's Fate. Psycha would be the name of the blade, though. It's not the name of the character that wields the blade, but controls it. The Psycha army, basically, where any member of any group could just be a hidden member of the Psycha army, which is the supernatural thing going on. Any member of any group in this world could be an information gatherer for a Celestial Being, and we would know it, and they wouldn't know it.
I mean, it could well be being the Celestial Being, because I was always thinking, this is a separate, they position as a separate group, right? Acting on their own. But the question has been who's arming them, who's equipping them, who is financing them. It may well be that they're groups within the three major nations that are all of them contributing knowingly or unknowingly, mostly partly knowing, to Celestial Being, because whatever Celestial Being is doing is for their advantage, right?
I mean, that would be a weakness.
It would be a weakness, but it would explain where you get all the funding or the sources for advance, because one thing you can have a guy 200 years ago develop all this stuff theoretically, but making it reality, manufacturing.
Remember that his finances from 200 years ago also vanished.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, it's only so much. Even one rich person. I guess only 4 machines.
No, listen. I think you're looking at that from the point of view of a poor person.
Yes, apparently. Yeah.
Remember that Jeff Bezos could stack money to the sun if he wanted to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even mean that from the element of he has so much money, if you put all the money together, he could stack it to the sun. I mean, if he wanted to, for all we know, that's the point of his whole space program. They said I could do it. I'm going to do it. Which ironically might actually cause negative inflation as he burns all of his money.
Yeah.
Definitely something going on with Felt and Haru. All the shots we get of Felt just saying Haru's name and the strange panic shot of her staring up at it as well.
Yeah. Does she have some connection to Haru as in the development or the design of Haru? Or is it a copy of something else that she had? Right?
I'll bring this up because it's interesting and it's never going to come up in the show. Something specifically out of OOF. There is a Haru in OOF that splits open and it has like a holographic little girl inside of it. So, sometimes there's a character there who's just like a little girl. It's like, where the fuck is this coming from? And it's a Haru. So the Haru just splits open and there's like a holographic little girl. But sometimes I think they can touch things. I can't remember. It's been forever since I've seen it. So it might be like Hard Light. Might actually be Hard Light, actually. But it's just the element that it's the Haru is a person.
Not just a little robot.
Again, that's not going to ever be a thing here. So I'm fine just sharing that bit. I don't know if you would ever have come up with on your own. Well, maybe that Haru is going to split open and a person's going to come out. But
yeah, that seems very specific. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe you could one day come back to the notes of having watched Red Dwarf constantly. Hard Light's a thing. I don't know. But it's interesting there. So the conceit that somebody could be attached to a Haru because they have a specific thing inside of them or something isn't just an off-the-wall idea. Although, again, as I've already indicated, that's not going to happen here. It's just the element of, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Haru. Been a long time, Felt, or whatever the fuck it says. See you guys later. Haru.
It's a thing. Well, I guess my last note. If the outro is to be believed, Setsuna is from the Middle East. We already know that. Lock-On is from Northern Ireland. Hallelujah is from England. And Tierra is from the U.S.? I couldn't pin where Tierra was from. It's a city, but...
So you're saying the guy who has the most problem with terrorism is from Northern Ireland?
Yes.
Going to my next note then. Kind of funny that the message the show is putting out there is that the terrorist actually helped expand the minds of our characters by forcing them to confront the realities of the world. I know it's all horrible stuff that happened, but this is sort of lampshading it with a positive.
Yeah. I mean, actions have consequences and unintended. Well, in a way, yeah, because it's like, oh, we predicted this could happen. Yeah, but it didn't happen. When it did happen, it's like, oh, shit. It's the difference between a prediction and reality. Like, oh, well, this theoretically could happen versus, oh, shit, this happened. Well, fuck. What do we do about it, right? And how we do about it, we tell exactly what we're going to do about it to the people who already know they're going to do it by way of doing it. The end.
So speculating that Celestial Being might not actually be about eradicating war, but something else. It's not me, obviously. They said that in the show. Yeah, character in the show speculated that Celestial Being might not be about eradicating war, but something else. I think it was Kome?
Either Kome or I think it was Char. Wasn't it, what's his name?
I think I just heard you say Char.
Not Charles.
It'd be amazing if Char showed up in Gundam Below, because he'd be basically as effective as he is in his normal show.
Yeah.
I keep taking shots at Char because everyone built Char up as this monolith of being amazing at being a Gundam pilot, and I just keep watching him lose fight after fight. So, and then he adopted 2 kids, which never got told to me.
Yeah.
I believe he adopted 2 kids. I don't know if I'm spoiling anything to anybody out there, but
yes. Or kidnapped them or something. Like, you too.
Well, no, you introduced the idea where those what's his name's kids, and he's just taking care of them now or something. Which I didn't think about because he didn't bring that up himself. Just the element he shows up with 2 kids out of the blue one day.
They command their...
Which is really, I feel like, more the element that the show is like, oh shit, we're losing our child audience with all of this other stuff. What did people like back then? Kika. No, we fucking drew Kika grown up already. We gotta bring new kids in.
Yeah.
We can't bring Bright's kids in. We already sent them somewhere else. Well, this answers a previous question about if the Gundam Meisters would have to fight on the ground against forces the Gundams couldn't be used for. They detected a suspicious person leaving the site of a bombing and sent Sasuna in on foot to investigate. We have no indication that Sasuna is trained in anything other than Gundam piloting. We have no idea if we have any backup pilots should Setsuna get murked by a terrorist. This all seems like a very bad plan and terrible usage of your pilots.
It's the main characters do everything syndrome, basically.
Yeah, they've captured someone down there on the planet. Who do we send? The captain, the first officer.
First officer.
No. Actually, no. We always it's either the captain or the first officer. But still, one of the two main people. I'm going to think the main engineer and one of the helmsmen.
Yeah.
Sure, isn't there like 300 something people on this ship? Yeah, but after the last 100 years, we don't send one of the security guys. That's for certain.
Yeah. Security still wears red, so fuck them. Yeah, not gonna work.
So I was watching Gassy Mexican playing the Voyager game recently, and someone brought up the fact, because he was wearing a red uniform, but he was wearing the captain's. He said, check the peeps, or check the pip. No, peep the pips. Peep the pips. Because he had 4. So I'm a captain.
Yeah.
And my thought process was, wait a second, this also has to be wrong. If you are a captain in Star Trek and you're not the main captain, you are probably going to die. Because you're only there to show that the threat that they're about to fight, or the threat they're about to face, destroyed some other captain.
Depending on the ship.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless you're Kelsey Grammer or something, you're not going to come out of this. Like, I remember, that's the sister ship to the Enterprise. Some shit like that. It's always going to be...
Yeah.
Oh, they all fucking died on here. Look, they're all frozen in place or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. If you're another captain on the show and you're not the main character, which was my argument for Gassy, you're not the main character. You're playing Janeway. You're not Janeway. You're another captain. Yeah. You know who you are? You're Ransom. You're Captain Ransom, which then throws me off from Lower Decks because that's the second in command guy. I'm talking about, that's Jack Ransom, I think, in Lower Decks. I'm talking about Ransom from Voyager, which is the captain of the other ship that got pulled through by the caretaker.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm starting to play that game, and I don't know everything of Voyager, but I know all the plot lines because I fucking watched it religiously back in the day.
There was a sister ship of the Enterprise.
That's why I was bringing up. They contacted the things that increased their power core, so they just blew up the moment at the start of the episode.
There was a virus or something like that. Ionian virus.
I also bring up the captains that contact Picard at the end of season 1 about their worry about the
infiltration.
Infiltration. I couldn't think of the word. And they're fucking dead.
Heck, even if you're a captain of an Enterprise, you still get killed because in
Enterprise
the episode where, she didn't even made it to the end of their own episode.
Well, no, you're talking about your first one, which dies in their sickbay, but also they sent her back in time to die. So she does survive.
She even dies. No, she even dies before the episode is over because the Klingons do attack. She dies.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. She dies before they send her back because Lieutenant Yar has to.
Castillo take it.
Oh, she goes back with them, but it's what's his name? The guy who plays the villain golfer in
Lieutenant Castillo,
I'm not talking. I'm talking about the actor's name because I couldn't think of it. For the benefit of people who are watching this Gundam show with not Star Trek knowledge, but general maybe Adam Sandler movie knowledge.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Well, he plays the guy in the Adam Sandler movie. He says, "I eat shit for breakfast. I eat shit like you for breakfast." He says, "You eat shit for breakfast?" Like, no.
Christopher McDonald.
Yeah. So if you remember that name or you look that name up, you'll remember him as many villainous roles across other comedy movies. Yeah, it's very easy to point out Star Trek captains that survive because they're the rare breed. It's the subset. If you're an admiral, you're probably a villain. If you're a captain, you're probably going to die.
Yeah. You and your entire crew. The only difference is the captain gets to make the final log of how everybody died.
Yeah, in that case, you're just like the guy in every Dead Space game or Resident Evil.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite ABK jokes, or not jokes. Where he makes his little small videos about what it must be like to be a guy. Like always, never look up, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Captain ripped off his own face. At the end of the episode, I've been hearing weird noises, but then I saw a face hanging off of the door. Let's see, which one was that? A previous question. I think Setsuna just attacked a random person on the road. He gets called in to investigate a suspicious person leaving the bombing site, and then gets told they were seen leaving in a brown coupe. Sure, that is a brown coupe screeching away in front of him, but the time between him getting called in, getting in a motorcycle, riding into the city, reaching the bombing site, all after the guy was spotted leaving, then suddenly he's going on to be back in front of the bombing site again. It's like early in the morning when Setsuna gets the call, and it's bright outside when he's in the city. A fair amount of time has passed. I think he opened fire on someone that was just in a hurry. We do later see that they caught someone in a brown coupe, pointedly not with tinted windows like the car Setsuna shot at, though.
Yeah, some guy driving, and he's like, shit, I'm under attack. What the fuck?
Well, it's the basis of My Cousin Vinny. Basis of My Cousin Vinny is two similar-looking cars.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there was a guy leaving the bombing site when he got called earlier in the morning. It's later in the day because it's bright out, and he's there at the site. And now a car goes screeching by that's a brown coupe, like the one I just heard about. Well, what was he doing? Did he, slow? Was it, 75-year-old man with a walker leaving the site? It took him that long to get into his brown coupe?
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up. And again, the car that he shot at was tinted. The car that they see the guy pinned to the top of the car is not tinted. Which, again, what's the counter argument there? Oh, it's just how he was looking at it, or he turned the tinting on while he's being shot at. Those were energized windows or whatever. So what, he turned it off when he got arrested?
Yeah.
What's that? An Azadistanian possibly being arrested? I better use my diplomatic ties to protect someone I don't know in a situation I have no clue about. Positive racial profiling, I guess? Yeah, forgetting, of course, that she's wrong and he comes from a different country than what she thought, and that he was, in fact, firing a gun going down a highway that we did previously see other cars on, I guess until they all rightly vanished when some crazy person started shooting a gun at other vehicles. Better use my power to protect that guy.
Yeah. Random guy I don't know. I have no idea.
Or how about the fact of, oh, here's who I am, shows ID. All right, let me see your ID. Other guy that I was about to arrest.
Yeah. You don't have jurisdiction here. No, fuck you. I'm going to arrest this.
Well, no, I get there's pulling diplomatic immunity or some shit. But the element of, they identify who she is. Oh, he works for me. All right, well, I'm going to just need all your identifications then.
Yeah.
And then Setsuna pulls out nothing. What?
Yeah.
I did never like the security guard who was always just, or the police officer, and these things are just like, oh, okay. I guess I'll ignore the gunshots. What does he put in his report later? Legitimately, he needs to take everybody's information anyway.
Yeah.
Even if they're not going to use it.
This whole scene, the following scene should have been in the police station. Everybody's like, and by the way, you're here. It's like,
no, the following scene shouldn't have happened. It literally should have been everybody in interrogation rooms and whatnot, or Celeste should have been them in lockdown, or at least someone's office, getting that, and the celestial being like, what do we do? Setsuna's been captured. Them breaking him out. The whole Mission Impossible thing of, we got to get Setsuna out of custody, wipe all those records, blah, 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 blah.
Very cyberpunky.
No, because I don't think they should blow the place up and kill everybody.
True enough.
All right, all that said, let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Northern Ireland?
No, you said, is that Ireland? I first thought you said, is that an island? No.
No, well, it is. Not this in particular.
Well, yeah, it's my island, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
Twin brother?
That thinks is dead?
Huh?
That he thinks is dead? I mean, it's very, very clearly putting flowers at the grave. Yeah. Although there's already weirdly flowers at the grave. Also, I feel like this has to be said, just as an explanation. Yeah. We had to stop our previous recording and then start a new recording on a different day. Mm-hmm. So we didn't just both shit ourselves and had to change our clothes.
Actually, it would be like we have to get a whole wall of. Yeah.
Well, one of us isn't having a green screen, and there's no evidence yet that that's actually what's behind me.
Yeah.
I've just put up the most mundane green screen you can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, it subverts expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't live in a black void. I live
somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to be. I've never seen one of those
as
before.
Informative as living in a black void, if you think about it. I live in a room. I
don't know. I mean, there's the impetus of, I know what's going on with yours. There's a little thing vomiting on your shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
Where the hell's that door go?
Yeah.
I can tell you, in a real world scenario, that's not the exit.
What is somebody? Hey, Ted, what are you doing?
I mean, I've got a pre-recording thing in my room that I used to use for the stream. You know, if I had to leave, I could just turn it on and it would just be the room. Yeah. So, could pre-record myself opening that door.
Oh, at least we're getting how much time has passed. Been pretty busy, you guys.
So no point in me keeping up with the number of missions or what missions we're on. Don't accept a filthy activities of CB. Was on one of the signs.
I mean that.
ソレスタルビーイングに対して防衛行動を行うと発表。しかし、モラリア紛争や戦闘は一度も行われていない。それを可能にしたのは、モビルスーツガンダムの卓越した戦闘能力にある。世界中で行われている紛争は縮小を続けていたが、武力による抑圧に対する反発は消えることはない。
Yeah, I mean they counterattacked the terrorists, but they didn't like destroy them completely, did they?
人類革新連盟である特秘作戦が開始されようとしていた。
I mean, other people have been doing plans.
No, they said that they were going to defend themselves. Apparently the HRO is, we're going to attack them.
モビルスーツの路角にある。この任務を全うすることで、我ら人類革新連盟は世界をリードし、人類の発展に大きく貢献することになるだろう。
I mean, maybe not.
諸君らの奮起に期待する。
You get so weakened by trying to attack Celestial Being that even if you're successful, you're just too weak to do anything else.
引き続きエクシャの着艦作業に入ります。コンテナオープン、相対誘導システム作動。
誘導システム同調。エクシア着艦する。
エクシア着艦しました。
いい着艦だったぞ、セツだ。整備を手伝
So
う。
square robots now.
Oh yeah, he went to space as well. Yeah. That's a lot of Haros.
And Haru Mecha as well.
スメラギさん、オーバーホール中にもし敵に襲われたら、
神を恨むわ。
戦術予報士のセリフです。
Do they know that this is a ship that belongs to them?
It has solar generators on it, remember? 4 of them. It's got the technology of Celestial Being, so it's a big hint, I'd assume.
規制制御完了。ハッチオープン。
リニアカタパルト電圧上昇。双方向通信システム射出準備完了。
射出。
通信呼気全体分離。
Two-way communication systems.
通信呼気全体分離開始。予定位置に移動中。双方向通信正常です。
これで我が軍の静止衛星軌道領域を 80% 網羅したことになります。
Yeah, micro satellites, yeah.
ガンダムが放射する特殊粒子は 効果範囲内の通信機器を妨害する特性を有しています。それを逆手に取り、双方向通信を行う数十万
It's about time they figured it out.
I mean, I was going to ask you, hey, listen, what do you think they're up to? Because obviously I know already. But he already got into the explanation before I could get there.
I mean, as long as the satellites are working, then you could just monitor them, right?
Unless they get destroyed in conflict, also, you know, orbital drift. Orbital drift and orbital drag.
Oh.
会いたかったわ、ルイス。今は渡航規制がかかってるのに、どうして？代議士の先生にお願いしてね。
Yeah, because she's rich.
Screw the rules, I've got money.
前に言ったでしょ？私のボーイフレンド。
サジです。サジクロスロードです。
そう、娘がお世話になっております。
あ、いえ。
でももう結構ですので。さ、帰るわよ、ルイス。何言ってるの、ママ。世界がこんな状況なのに、一人娘を留学させておけないでしょ。さ、やだ、帰らない。なんとか言って。
I didn't come all this way just to visit.
と言われても。
恋人が連れてかれちゃうのよ。
恋人？いつの間に？あなた。誤解です、お母さん。お母さん。いや、そういう意味ではなくて。
Doing a good job with the voice.
He's not that kind of man. He's not that kind of man.
彼らの本当の目的がわかると思うんです。ぜひともやらせてください。
どの国の諜報機関もお手上げの状況だと聞いている。お前一人で何が？
それでもやりたいんです。お願いします。デスク。
デスク？
1ヶ月以内に報道特集1時間分のネタ。
Well, I mean, they're implying that the governments of the world stopped looking into Scheinberg.
国But what can the UN do? I know if they don't have control of any. Oh, I guess they can get access to them.
So our boy Alejandro, who's got
It's from the
connections
UN.
to celestial being, is part of the United Nations.
国連大使のアレハンドロ・コーナーです。
アザディスタン王国第一王女マリナ・イスマイールです。私たちの援助要請を受けていただき、この国を代表してお礼申し上げます。
国連とは本来こういうことを行うための組織です。とはいえ、加盟国からの分担金が滞っている今、やれることは限られてしまいますが。
I'm actually just surprised the UN still exists.
Oh, they mentioned it before. They said like, "Oh, the UN is not much."
No, Lessons. As a concept, I am surprised that the UN still exists. Not that in universe. Oh, the UN still. The fact that we have 3 super blocks. You figure they could just negotiate between themselves at that point. You don't need the United Nations.
そうなのよね。
ここ俺見てますから食事してきていいっすよ。
本当？優しい。
それほどでも。
でも好みじゃないのよね。
Haha, trick you.
Wow. Boom. Shut down right in the face. Like, too bad you're not my type. Congrats for being a nice guy, I guess.
I don't remember that guy's name. I remember the other one's Christine. I don't know what his name was. It's my green block of vegetable. We all got green block of vegetable.
GN ドライブチャージ 100% 到達と。
Oh, he's ignoring the yep, he's ignoring the red warning.
Well, he's just taking over the station. He's not the one who's normally there, as we already know.
まさかこれほど近くにいたとは。
特務部隊長部の総員に通達。モビルスーツ隊緊急発進。
緊急出撃準備。0655より1番艦から順次出撃する。全搭乗員は加速に備えよう。140秒後に緊急加速を開始する。
ピーリス少尉、全感覚投影システムの具合はどうか。
問題ありません、中佐。
Oh, she's not only wearing the face trap that they do.
As long as that thing that we haven't clearly defined what happened happens again, we should be okay.
Where?
Also, this is... So Shipping has a long history, I take it.
Yeah, thing I didn't share about Gundam 00F was that it's part of a different generation of Gundams.
ソレスタルビーイングのメンバーには守秘義務がある。俺も今のメンバーの過去を知っちゃいないが。そうか。両親の情報もか。両親の意志を継いだんだな。君は強い。強い女の子だ。
Yes, they look about the same age.
俺の本名、ニール・ディランディ。
あなたの名前。
なあ、そうだ。出身はアイルランド。
Wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah.
Also, we already knew he was an anti-terrorist. He got real pissed off about it before, so hearing his parents died in a terrorist attack.
失礼。誤解をするな。
あんな状態じゃ味なんかわかんないって。
何？
なんでも。いいセンサーに反応。これって通信装置。
なんすか？
バカ！
なんで？
敵にこっちの位置が探知されてるのよ。
I told you he was ignoring the red.
He was not ignoring it. He was taking care of a different station.
No, it wasn't that. He took over his station, and the red light wasn't that station, so he ignored it.
It's not ignoring it if you don't see it. Ignoring it is seeing it and then not paying attention to it.
Yeah, long-range shots. Yeah.
Damn it, that was against what I was going to do today, but okay. Since you asked.
GN 粒子の通信遮断領域を特定してくるなんて。こんな物量作戦が行えるのはおそらく人格。
I don't know where that comes from. 3 super nations of the world, I think. The Union probably has it too.
あそこは電磁波の影響で通信空白地帯になる。状況を五分に持ち込めるわ。
了解です。
キュリオス発進しました。バーチェをカタパルトデッキへ移行させます。
ガンダム2機で陽動作戦か。
Kind of reminds me of the carrier from Zoids.
遅れました。フェルト発進シークエンスお願い。了解。
左足は大きい処置で固定を軸をつけた。だが火器管制の調節が
撃てればいいさ。
バーチェ、ティエリアーで行きます。
中佐、オービタルリングへと向かっている通信遮断ポイントがさらに2カ所増えました。
ガンダムが分散したのか。いや、これはガンダム2機を発進させ
Again, it's just that the moment that you recognize that they're out there, you can start blowing them up. Which I mean the listening devices.
ならばその陽動に乗り、陽動をさせてもらう。1番から3番間、モビルスーツ前期発進。2番、3番の操舵士は自動操舵に切り替え、ブリッジ分離の後、基地へ帰投せよ。3番間、第3通信遮断ポイントをトレースするのを忘れるな。
So let's see, we're looking at 4, 8, 12, 12 times 4, 48, 48 mobile suits.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like it was 4 per line, 3 lines per, so 3 times 4 times 4, because there's 4 ships, right?
Yeah.
And we know that in Moralia, they took out way more than that. Even if you divide that, what it was 135 versus 4? I'm just saying, in Moralia, each Gundam took out about 30 mobile suits on its own.
Yeah.
And now they're going against 48? Oh yeah, his name is Lichty. His name and what he wants to do.
なかなかやる。敵艦の船影は出せるか？
AI による補正が入りますが。
構わん。出せ。
Already back in the day.
これがソレスタルビーイングのスペースシップ。このようなものまで所有する規模があの組織にはあるというのか。
Can you trust that's what the ship looks like though? The image was enhanced by AI. Maybe it made stuff up.
接近する艦船は輸送艦ラオホー2隻。おそらくそこに敵戦力の全てが集中しているはずよ。どういうことです？
敵艦2隻がキュリオスとバーチャの迎撃に向かったはずだ。
本来はそうしてほしくなかったの。最初のプランではこっちの陽動を見抜いた敵艦隊がアレルヤたちを無視、直接本艦へ向かう。
I feel like Legend of the Galactic Heroes could use this. 敵はこっちの陽動を陽動で答えたのよ。おそらく攻撃に向かった敵輸送艦に搭載されたモビルスーツはすでに発進済み。逆にアレリアとティエリアは今頃輸送艦の迎撃に時間を取られているはず。 Yeah, again, they never stood a chance.
手間をかけてくれる。モビルスーツが搭載されていない？まさか。
敵の陽動を受けたアレルヤたちが戻ってくるのは私の予測だと6分。その間、敵モビルスーツ部隊の波状攻撃を受けることになる。
ミススメラギがそう予測する根拠は
？18年前、第4次太陽光紛争時にこれと同じ作戦が使われたわ。
That'd be the incident.
Oh, the fourth solar power war. Interesting.
The wild bear of Russia. I'll say, was that going to be the incident that they talked about before with Sumeragi's past? Again, though, if each Gundam can take on over 30 mobile suits with no diff, right? 2 of them combined can take over 60. They've only brought 48. Again, I just haven't done the math like I've done the math. Like the guy told you.
Yeah.
Well, one hopes it's unmanned.
Oh, we're doing the Macross.
Yeah, Chris doesn't seem well suited for this.
It's only episode 9. They're gonna make it. Don't worry about it.
Once again, the element. There's people in charge of the whole, you know, preventing conflict around the world with armed intervention. And one of them is like, I can't stand fighting. Oh, it's really... I let that maths out. 36. Where'd the other ones go? Oh, duh. That's where the other ones went.
そういうことだったの。人格連。いえ、セルゲイ・スミルノフの今回の作戦目的はドレミーじゃない。
Yeah, it's to capture a Gundam.
私の予測が外れたというの。そんな。もう間違わないと決めたのに。
I mean, it still seems an unrealistic goal to achieve with the number of mobile suits you brought. Fair enough, you didn't just bring mobile suits. And you brought more than I thought.
Yeah.
Iron Man Peach.
Oh, this is part 1. Okay.
Also, she's not being affected.
Yeah.
So they've clearly.
I mean, they recalibrated her brain, remember?
Well,
so it wouldn't be affected.
They talked
time,
about
yeah.
it. They didn't really say that they did anything yet. Also, the element, how is she still projecting that while at the same time not being affected by it? She's only broadcasting, but not pulling in.
The way they describe it, it wasn't so much broadcasting; it's more of
quantum brainwave patterns.
Quantum, just her presence is enough to be to it. She's not doing it actively; she just has it, right?
Well, that doesn't
Both
change what I said. Lessons.
I mean,
lessons. If you stink, we're still putting out a smell. You might not actively be putting out the smell. You're not concentrating. Smell. You're still doing it.
But I may be not affected
All I
by
said
it,
was that she's broadcasting. Passive, active, doesn't matter. She's still broadcasting.
Mm.
If I said radio silence and your microphone was just stuck on, active, passive, ignorance, whatever, still happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would leave her as always on, but still take away her broadcast. Reception.
To make her immune to
but why still
his presence?
Hold on.
罠にはまったソレスタルビーイングキュリオスはその中で覚醒を促されバーチェが隠された能力をさらけ出す次回ガンダム露獲作戦天使の羽が空を舞う
I guess they managed to capture at least one of them.
It's the name of the episode.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that's what they've been gearing up to do for the last 8 episodes, more back in the background. I'm trying to find a way to capture a Gundam. So, yeah.
Well, they've all been talking about it. So this episode introduced the element that the other country was saying, we'll defend ourselves. And the HRL is the only ones going, we're going to go on the offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Although not really, because technically the Advanced European Union already went on the offensive in that they lured the Gundams in and then had them attack a whole country in which they failed to do anything.
Yeah.
So the Union has this background plan to capture the Gundams, even though the narrator just told us they're going to only defend their territory. The AU has already attempted a thing and is now going to defend their territory. And the HRL has technically kind of already been fighting them. Multiple interventions already happened in their territory.
Yeah.
And they just haven't said, we're going to defend ourselves. So I guess from the public stage, they're on the offensive and have never left the offensive.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool episode. I liked it overall. The lock-on felt thing felt a little rushed. Like it came out of...
What do you mean rushed? It's like its first introduction.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not rushed. It's like, just, it's there.
Yeah.
It'd be different if they walked into the room and they were discussing how they were going to move into a house together or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But even then, it would still be the first contact. It would only feel rushed if this was step 1, and then whatever we got to next, like their first meeting here, and then the next time we see we're actually going to move to Earth and we're going to get a place in Ireland. That feels pretty rushed.
Yeah, but it's like, there's like talking to someone. He puts her against him. It's like, oh well, it's like, oh well, we're talking. And she's like, oh,
cool. Just comforting her.
And the other guy walks in. It's like, Is it?
Yeah,
I'm interrupting? Yeah. Like, oh, it's not what it looks like, but it surely was what it looked like.
Well, that's why I said, I guess they look like the same age. She's just short, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Although, granted, she could be like 19, 18 for all I know, and he could be, gonna guess, 26? Not a huge difference.
Yeah. So overall, good episode. Of course, it's a first part of a two-part, essentially. So I really can't talk about much of what happened here, because now, other than that guy not, ignoring the bloody obvious, like beep beep, you're like, no.
I mean, you're saying that from, again, the outside perspective. Our camera was right there. It might not be that loud. Things get louder the closer you are to them.
But he literally was sitting in front of it. So
not when it was going off.
Station.
No,
it was.
There's two seats facing forwards, and then there's two seats facing the side. One that Christine sits in, one that Phelps sits in. He was in the front one, like basically you mentioned the pilot seat. The one that it's blinking on is back behind him, where Christine sits.
You're forgetting that she was there. It's like,
I'm saying it wasn't blinking when he was sitting in that seat. It started blinking. It started blinking when he moved to these front seat.
No, I said it. Hey, you missed it. He was thin when there's like, oh, you're
yes,
missing
you said it, Lessons, when he was in the pilot seat in the front, not when it was back there blinking.
Later on.
He actually never really sat down there. He said, I'll cover for you. And then we immediately saw him move to his own front seat.
No, he covered. He was literally sat in front of it.
You know what, Lessons? I don't give a shit. The problem here is that there's no way to prove that.
No, we're going to watch the episode again.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to prove it right now. True. So all I can do is, all you can do, or I can do, one of us, it can only just dig a hole. Like, legitimately, if you're like, go back and, oh shit, I was wrong, we're going to spend the next 5 minutes digging a hole. Like, or if it turns out that I'm wrong, bait for the comments? Like, what's going to go on here?
Yeah, that's right.
One of us is right. Because this isn't even an either or situation where we both could be right. Like, maybe he sat there for 5 seconds, but you're like, oh, it was right there in front of him. And it was like right when he's getting up, like halfway between two seats. I don't know. Like I said, from my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
Of course. From your perspective.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, shared by at least one character in the show. Movie and show.
Yeah, that was this episode. I have to wait how it actually changed. I mean, it's going to be episode 10 out of 50, so I don't think they're going to capture a Gundam. Or maybe they will capture
50 across 2 seasons, though.
Yeah. Maybe they do capture Gundam, and now they're going to continue the show 1 month down, and we spend the next 10 episodes like they're, tearing down this Gundam and figuring how it works, and that would be
the thing I was going to get into before we got into this pedantic argument of who was sitting in what seat was the fallibility of Sumeragi.
Yeah. No, the first time, which was what she was talking about.
The first time.
No, because she said, I made the mistake before. Remember
what
she was talking about?
I was talking about this, literally this episode. She mentioned that was mentioned before the incident, but there's no talking about what the incident is because we have no information about it. Apparently, it was back when she was still in school. So I don't think because he says that back when they were at the academy together. I'm saying the academy is a school because it is a school. Academies are schools.
Yes.
So there's no indication that it has to be combat prediction, whatever they called it here. There's no indication what the incident is. So we can't just assume.
It seems that she was referring to the other time that the Bear of Russia.
No, I said that this episode. Do you think that was the incident? That was They didn't say in the episode that was the incident. I was saying, do you think it was? Because I don't know.
Think it was.
I'll be honest. Right now, even with future knowledge, I don't remember what the fucking incident was. So I'm putting out there's something bad that happened in the past. This is the first thing that they've thrown out there from something from the past. What was it, 18 years ago?
10 years ago.
Some number of years ago.
Yes.
Who could figure it out? There's no possible way
we
could figure it out.
The question also is what happened to the second generation Gundams? Were they active? Attacking? Were they part of that war? That's a lot of interesting questions right there. I mean, for Felt parents to have died, either there was an accident or they got caught or they were in part of conflict and got shut down. So these are not even the first Gundams that people have seen. Or maybe they managed to keep them secret somehow. I don't know.
As I covered before, I have read maybe a third, maybe a fourth of Gundam 00F, which features at least one of the developers of the previous generation of Gundams. And then apparently there was precursor? What was the word I'm looking for here? Prequel. There was a prequel to even Gundam 00F, which features like the first generation of Gundams. Because, it's like those characters were like the developers of the first generation Gundams. This character here was like a teenager or a young girl with those people, and then she goes on to develop them, and then somebody carries it on after her to develop the next generation of Gundams. So we're like deep into this. But again, it's been hundreds of years since Scheinberg, who first came up with the idea for humanoid robot worker things. No, the character in Gundam 00F, I always call her Bella Laika. You're familiar with that?
I mean, from what's the Black
Lagoon?
Huh?
Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon. Yeah.
Because she looks exactly like Bella Laika, to the point where I was using a picture of her, the character from Black Lagoon, as the picture for her from the manga. She looks exactly like her, like exactly 100%. Could have been a tracing. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just saying they are the same fucking character. I mean, not in personality, but she's like Bella Laika if you put Sumeraki's personality in Bella Laika.
That's interesting.
Yeah, 00F is pretty interesting. Like I said, it's everything that's happening in the background of this show, and sometimes those characters are in the background, hiding themselves from the Celestial Being characters, even though they are themselves also a Celestial Being.
So could Celestial Being ultimately be funded by the UN?
We know there's one character in it from the UN, but we don't know if he's just an agent of Celestial Being, or is he the leader of Celestial Being? Like, it's a tangential line that is represented on the board, right? Here's the main people who are doing the missions, and then here's the command crew on the Ptolemos, and then we have the two Wang and her bodyguard that are doing something else, but they're always there, they're always present, and they have information a lot of times.
Yeah.
And then those two are connected to Alejandro and Ribbons.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even direct connection. We've never seen Alejandro talk to any of the command crew on Ptolemos.
No, and they wouldn't necessarily.
And we have no idea. We have no idea what the connection is. For all we know, maybe Alejandro isn't even part of Celestial Being.
He just knows about them?
Well, no. All we know is that Alejandro has connection to Wang. And that Wang then has a connection to Celestial Being. I've left it up in the air. Is Wang a part of Celestial Being?
Well, they talk about Celestial Being's agents worldwide, and they were the ones doing that. So at least that's, their side of the operation.
Right, but does that make them part of it?
I mean, I would think so, yes, if they're the intelligence arm of Celestial Being, right? Does
your real estate agent have any stake in your house?
While they're selling it, yes.
After they've sold it?
No.
After one of your agents does something, not talking real estate anymore. After your agents does something on behalf of Celestial Being, are they still part of Celestial Being?
Depends if they originally were independent contractors and they don't know who they're passing the information, then technically no. Although if they were found to be committing espionage, they would be accused of being members of Celestial Being and probably brought in
So
charges.
You're saying that Billy is a member of Celestial Being?
Billy?
He's committing espionage. He's passing information to Sumeragi, the chief person of the command crew of the Ptolemos. He himself, who was apparently a member of the Union. So by your definition, he will be found to be a member of Celestial Being if tried.
That's how they. If we're going to prosecute Billy for it, yeah, I think prosecutors will go after him for that. But technically, he wouldn't be a member.
I'm just saying, when we throw out these definitions, that seems applicable in this position.
It depends if you're an active agent or a passive agent. If you're a passive agent that doesn't know about, you're just passive. It's like, okay.
It's like if you use your quantum waves to give somebody else. It's the second time now we've gone from active and passive.
If I'm talking to you and I say, hey, Theta, I don't know about this, and you pass it on to someone else, but I have no idea who you're passing that information to, then you could be a member of that organization, but I am not. I'm simply a source. There's a difference between being a source and being an agent.
Well, I mean, at that point, then you're just quibbling about the information as well. If it's information you shouldn't be passing along, then you are still culpable for passing on information.
Yeah,
regardless of who it winds up to, you're still the leak.
I would not be prosecuted for being aligned with an agent against the government. but I would be prosecuted on violations of whatever rules or regulations or laws I'd be violating.
I think you'd be held culpable for whatever was done with that information, regardless of who you pass it on to.
No,
because it's still your breach that caused the thing to happen.
That would be evidence to the extent of my violation, but it wouldn't be the violation itself. Because even if nothing happens, I could still be prosecuted for violating.
Right? No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. Oh, if nothing happens, you're free. I'm just saying that your crime escalates by the value of the information and how it's used.
That would be an example of like why we're doing this. Oh yeah, this on top of everything else, he did. There is an aspect of that, especially when you talk about treason, about aiding and abetting the enemies of the country or the state that you're in, which is an extra thing, but not the core of the charges, unless you're going in, at least in the Union. The Union follows the Constitution of the United States. That's a big if, but let's say they do with this example. Then yeah, if your main charge is treason, then you have to prove aiding and abetting. In other words, what you did had to have aided substantially and abetted actions to the enemy against the state / or in this case, a union. But if I'm just going for, say, the violation of the Espionage Act, I don't have to prove that your evidence that what you gave did any damage. I just have to prove that you illegally and knowingly, or sometimes even unknowingly, pass information to an enemy agent who may or may not have used it in any capacity whatsoever. I don't have to prove that it was used. I only have to prove that.
Right, but again, in the example, we're going for maximum charge.
If you're going for treason, again, it will be the maximum charge. Yeah, you have to prove aiding and abetting. If you're just going for a lesser charge, just prison, as opposed to, say, execution, because in the Constitution, it's, you will be found guilty of treason. You can be executed for it. Then, yeah. Depends what you can prove, right?
I mean,
and sometimes you don't.
Depends on who's on what side, because I would say we also have witnesses, but it depends on who's on what side. Is Alejandro going to testify that he witnessed Billy talking to Sumeragi in the bar? Like, I don't know.
If he knows who she is.
Again, as I said, it's all dependent on who's on what side and whose allegiance to who. It's information we don't have.
But it also would be, ironically enough, for the UN's benefit that all the nations are disarmed or pushed back in their power, which allow the UN to fill in the void, right?
Is it? Because I don't know if this is the universe where the, again, because we're still denoting the difference between the Union and America. So, is America still the leading factor behind the United Nations military presence?
The unions.
No. Again, remember, we delineated a difference between the Union's military and the American Navy that got sent out. So, you keep saying the Union. I'm saying in this case, is this just an extension of the belief that America rules the world vis-a-vis military power, that the predominant force being supplied to the UN is going to be American military? Since, again, we are separating Union military from American military?
Well, that depends on whether the United States wants to set forces or not. I mean, the UN by itself, at least if this is as in the real world, this is in the 24th century, so things are going to change. The United Nations has no military on its own.
I would also indicate to you that the chief members of the Security Council are going to be mostly from the HRL. Well, depending on how we split Russia. That's a very confusing bit. Yeah. I would say, actually, in that instance, the majority of them are going to be from the Advanced European Union. Because it seems to me that Moscow is going to be on the Advanced European Union side of that Russian split, and then we got England and
France,
and then China is over in HRL, and half of Russia. But again, I think the Moscow side, which would be the majority of production, everything, oil. Well, no, it's not important anymore. But again, I'm going to say that that's probably going to be in the Advanced European Union. So the majority of voting members of the UN Security Council, which would then be deciding on how to advocate use of military action, is going to be the AEU.
Yeah, but again, that is if the UN works.
And then it couldn't work that way because then it would be the Union or America, which is a subset of the Union, that would be supplying the majority of that. However, we've already determined that the Advanced European Union has a glut of mobile suits to the point that it's trying to sell them to anyone and everyone, including terrorists. I just don't know how the United Nations works in this super block world. Because again, it's like every superblock is its own Warsaw Pact, United Nations.
Yeah, but the United Nations would be simply nations. It could be both, right? You could have the United States, who is the leader of the Union, be a member of the UN, as would all the other nations inside the Union would be members of the UN. It just so happens that when it comes to a lot of these things, the United States is the one through the Union to speak for the Union, right? Like, well, yeah, it's like, and so they vote in the General Assembly, they vote as a bloc, right, etc. Kind of like, NATO, Warsaw Pact, First World, Second World, Third World.
So I just invoked. Again, for me, it's the element that America had that position early on because of its position in the world view, right? Post World War II America.
Yeah.
The element therein, though, is that with the superblocks, every superblock should have that authority, that presence, that they're joint. The European Union of today. Well, maybe the European Union of 10 years from today, given what's going on now because of an orange, that will have equivalent powers across the Eastern Sphere and the Western Sphere. That the idea that all of these countries form together more than match America, let alone what I have to assume the Union then brings to the fold. So that the HRL stands to be similar power-wise, because remember, we're standing at like an equivalent state, because otherwise they would move on each other if they felt one was weaker than the other.
Actually, HRL has India, which I do believe is a member also of the... No, India is not a member of the Security Council. It's China and Russia.
Again, the majority is still in the Europe
America.
And the European side of Russia. I have to assume that that's the half of Russia that would be on the Security Council. The fact you cut Russia in half, no one talks about Siberia onwards.
It could be that Russia, the recognized nation of Russia, is the side east of the Urals, which I would suppose that is the
That's what I'm talking about. But the element is that they show the nations of the HRL. They show the nations of the HRL, and they show the cutoff of China, and then upper half of Russia. So it's like...
So I would, if that is actually still recognized as Russia according to the map, then HRL has two seats on the...
but still, Advanced AU still has more.
No, it would have only two, because there would not be a Russia.
No, I'm saying that the eastern half of Russia would be the recognized form of Russia that would be...
No, but remember, when we see the maps, when we see Russia, we see squarely in HRL. Even if there is a cutoff point.
That's what I've been talking about the entire time, Lessons. Russia is split in half. There's a Russia in the AEU, and there's the upper half of Russia in the HRL. So either Russia is a member of both blocks, and that's just not well told to us, which, I mean, maybe. But I'm saying that the side of Russia that everyone cares about in the Western world, anyway, is the side that's on the AEU side.
Well, if that's the part that it gets recognized as Russia. If it's not...
No, I'm saying there's just two Russias, essentially. So either this gets wiped out, we just mark Russia off of the list for having a vote in two different countries. I mean, from our consideration of who has more votes in the Security Council. In which case, it's still the Advanced European Union. Advanced European Union.
What I'm saying is, it all depends on recognition. If the western part of Russia is part of another nation, like Super Finland or Greater Poland or something like that, then it doesn't get a seat because Poland never had that seat.
I would say it still gets that vote only because it's still the extension of future Russia. You're just giving it a new name. It's still the territory, and thus I would have to assume any powers that would then be still given to it.
No, because it depends on what you recognize.
You're implying that the back half of Russia, again from the Western point of view, has the vote for some reason.
Because if that's what's recognized, it all depends on recognition.
You're just saying if. I get an if any statement. Britain doesn't exist anymore. If Britain doesn't exist anymore, we just take a vote away from the AEU.
We've seen it. We've seen it in the show.
We've seen the location that is Britain.
And the leadership, like the prime minister was there talking to someone, like, oh yeah, I'm the UK, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's been recognized as such.
But what if they're not on the United Nations anymore? We can say if about anything. If anything. I'm just looking at the map lessons. I'm not taking any ifs. And no ifs.
Well, the map says Russia, and it says west of the Urals.
Yeah, it also says Russia on the other fucking side. So there's no ifs. You're ignoring one fact to make another fact true. Both facts are true. You have seen it. We watched the same episode. Although if you're going to pull the I don't remember card, then the whole argument goes away because we're both pulling the map, right? This is another argument that cannot be argued without facts. Although actually, no, I'm not going to open my notepad for it. My notepad, I listed which countries were in which thing because I literally went down the map and wrote down every little... I talked to you about this, what, was it episode 2? Episode 3?
No.
I guess leave it for the comments. Although, literally just got done reading a comment from, was it Gundam Seed Destiny? Where, or no, it was Legends of Galactic Heroes. Americans like to talk about politics like they know anything.
Yeah. Which is what we do because we analyze stuff here, so sorry, buddy.
No, Americans. Not you two. Like, just Americans in general. Anyway, that wasn't the full comment. I don't remember the full thing. I looked at it and was like, oh, okay, whatever. Well, it's different when people are, like, very negative for no reason. Like, I get you like the show, but it doesn't mean you get to shit on people for no reason. So when people are very negative to the point of just insulting us for no reason, I can hide you from the channel. That's a shadow ban. For you, looks like you're talking to people. But hey, if you've been posting a lot and no one ever responds to you, you might have been shadow banned for being an asshole. Yeah, I do this for enjoyment, not to be insulted. Lessons is here to insult me. Lessons is the only one that can get away with it.
Yeah, well,
he has to put up with me directly. It's the only trade-off.
Yes. Yeah, you get to insult me back. So that's, no advantage there.
Well, again, you get to do it in real time. I can't. Imagine if I shadow banned you, Lessons. So it goes gray screen, I mute your mic.
Yeah. That would defeat the purpose. Defeat a lot of the purpose of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no benefit. There has to be equal footing because that's what a debate would be.
Well, therefore, yes, I agree. We should leave it to the commenter. So there you go. With that, I think we're done with this episode.
Yep.
Unless you have anything else to add.
So once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?